Yes.
Good evening, Facebook. Good evening, TikTok. I think we're live on both. Does it look live? Yes. All right. Good evening, everybody. It's the Cattery Cat Shelter live after dark. It's going to be a little different episode this evening than we normally present. As you know, we normally go on a tour of the shelter and introduce you to the kitties and talk about all the things that we do here at the shelter, and try and have a lot of fun and have a good time. We love everybody joining. Thank you for joining us. Let us know where you're coming from tonight when you join. But tonight is a special night, special episode for us. For those of you who have seen and commented and shared your thoughts with us, we appreciate it very much. Devin, thank you very much for your message. And for those of you who may not know what's going on today, we lost one of our favorite kitties last night, sometime last night after we left the shelter. And so we're going to talk about Valencia, and we're going to talk a little bit about shelter work and what it's like to work in a shelter and to become very close and attached to so many wonderful kitties.
A lot of them. All of them.
And most of them, you know, the vast majority leave here and they're happy stories, and they go home, they get a family, and they have a wonderful, wonderful life. But there are a few that do not, for whatever reason, get adopted. And unfortunately, some of those do pass away as life happens. And so we're gonna, it's kind of a special evening for us. It's a sad occasion. We thank you guys for coming and joining us tonight. I don't know if we're going to make it the full hour or not. Katie is, as those of you who come here every week, normally very, very talkative.
I'm holding myself together. We're okay.
Not tonight. And so if you have any questions to ask us about anything, we're just going to be here in the lobby. We do have a few lobby cats that are kind of wandering around. For those of you that know us and that come here often, you will see maybe some of the lobby cats. But we really wanted to kind of have a little bit of a celebration of Valencia's life.
She deserves that, for sure.
Tell you guys a little bit more about Valencia. She has appeared in many of our videos.
Thank you for the cat pest.
Many of our videos, even if you didn't really see her. She was in the background of a lot of pink-haired guy videos.
Yes, she was.
And a lot of videos that we shoot here in the lobby area of our shelter. She lived here in the lobby.
Yeah.
And she was one of the first cats that a lot of people saw when they came to the shelter. And so we just kind of wanted to take some time tonight for us, as well as for Valencia, to kind of honor her a little bit.
Yeah.
So to tell you a little bit about Valencia, she was a feral cat.
Yeah.
And when she was given to us by a local vet at really just 4 months old. And you know, cats that are born on the street, that are born of feral moms, quite often get taught very, very quickly and very, very young not to trust humans, to be afraid of humans. And that was Valencia. Someone managed to trap her and get her to a vet. And the vet really didn't have the facility to take care of her long term.
No.
Reached out to us and we took her in. We took Chad in as well. Both of them came to us. And we have a small feral colony This was at our old shelter.
Yes.
This was 2015. And we have a small feral colony. It's a protected enclosure where they're protected from coyotes and from cars. They're not running on streets. From neighbors that may not like having feral cats. So they live a pretty safe, protected life. They're all spayed and neutered, because we believe in that.
Yes.
They're all vaccinated and things like that. And they have a really sweet life. They don't have to worry about where their next meal is going to come from, because we're going to provide it.
Exactly.
And today at this shelter, we have a new shelter. We also have still have the same feral colony,
Yeah.
only larger. We expanded it.
We did.
And so Chad and Valencia lived in the feral colony, except they're about the only two cats that have ever figured out how to escape the feral colony.
Yeah.
And try as we might, we would catch them and put them back in, and catch them and put them in. They would get out anytime they wanted to, but they didn't go anywhere.
No.
They stayed at our shelter. They like to sleep on the director's car.
Yeah, I have a picture of it.
Particularly after it rained. They'd get muddy footprints and they'd walk all over her car, sleep on the windshield, sleep on the hood, the roof, wherever it was that they wanted to be.
Yeah.
But they didn't want to be touched.
Yeah,
they didn't want to be petted. But they just kind of wanted to be seen.
Yeah.
And so at the old shelter, as people came in through the parking lot area, they would see Chad and Valencia kind of lounging on the director's car or underneath it if it was too hot during the day. And when we came in 2019, 2020 to our new shelter area, obviously we weren't going to abandon the feral colony. We brought the feral colony with us, but we knew that Chad and Valencia weren't going to stay in there.
No.
And
get out again, for sure.
Yeah. And so the decision was made that we were going to try and convince them to live and be comfortable inside, like at night.
Yes.
We assumed that since they didn't want to be in the feral enclosure, and we had tried initially to make them indoor cats, and they didn't want any part of that.
No.
We assumed that they wouldn't want that. So we did what you normally do when you're transitioning a cat and trying to teach them that this is their environment. And we imagined that they would just kind of be outdoors during the day and then come in at night.
That was the goal.
That was the goal. So we kept them indoors for like a month.
Yeah.
Here in our lobby, we weren't open to the public just yet. We were still moving in. People were here all the time. We were taking care of them, but we weren't really active, so we didn't worry about the door opening or shutting or anything like that. Right. And so we kept them here at the shelter, and after a month, they decided that indoor living and air conditioning is pretty darn cool.
Yeah, they did. I remember being so shocked seeing Chad just enjoying himself and inside, because the whole time at the last shelter, he would be kind of close but distant. Like, you could get near him, but he didn't really want you to pet him. And then once we moved him here, he just like turned into a whole different cat. It was really strange. And Valencia did the same thing.
Yep.
I feel like Valencia was even more skittish than Chad was at the last shelter.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I used to work in the front desk area, and they both would sit on my desk during the day. And that was totally new, because I had never been able to pet either of them before. Now they both wanted love. It was awesome.
Yeah, which points out, the differences in environment can change the cat,
Definitely.
Right? And so as they became comfortable indoors, they became comfortable with humans. They still weren't really adoptable. No. And by this time, we'd had them for years, and we really weren't all that interested in adopting them out.
We were attached.
We were attached. They were attached to us, and they kind of were our mascots a little bit. So, so they lived indoors here in the shelter lobby, and they became very attached to each other. Yeah. So much so, I mean, just a pure bonded pair, and even more so than many typical bonded pairs, the amount of cuddling and grooming and finding them curled up in different beds or different places in the shelter lobby. They were always following each other. Yeah. And just the most absolute bonded pair. And believe me, we've had plenty of bonded pairs. These guys took it to a whole new level. And so we announced that they were engaged.
Yeah.
And we were planning a cat wedding for them. And we had to plan the cat wedding for them multiple times. Because Valencia, now remember that she was born in 2015, and it's now 2023, and she passed away. And so they're young cats. And Valencia had health issues pretty much her entire life. Yeah. She ended up having all of her teeth removed.
Yeah.
She had blood issues. She had only would eat certain things. Had a lot of pain in her mouth, even after all of her teeth were removed. She was on steroids. She was on different medicines. She would lose her hair. She had seasonal allergies. Yeah. Different things would trigger her. And she just had kind of a lot of health issues. And almost every time that we planned a wedding, she would get sick again.
Her hair would fall out.
Her hair would fall out. And we didn't want to have a cat wedding with a half-naked, bald bride, right? Who wants to embarrass the bride, right?
Yeah.
So we'd postpone the wedding, and you know, when she gets healthy again, we would have the wedding.
And then Chad's hair would fall out.
And then Chad's hair would fall out. Something would happen.
Yeah.
And every time, you know, she would get sick, we would treat her. We would take her to the vet, do whatever needed to be done. That's how the teeth eventually all got pulled and got on different medicines and things. And last week, a new round of it kind of kicked up.
Yeah.
And she started declining last week. And but still was friendly. On Saturday, I remember petting her, and she seemed, you know, she was fine. She was responding positively. But we took her to the vet yesterday again, doing a whole bunch of different tests to try and see what was going on, because the tests weren't really coming back as indicating a source. And we brought her back to the shelter last night after another round of tests. We were going to get the results. We were going to talk about possible treatment options if we found anything. We were going to talk about doing a bone marrow biopsy. There was some suspicion that cancer may be at play here. And so, you know, she came back to the shelter last night and cuddled with Chad and ate with Chad, and they groomed each other, and she laid in her bed and stuff. When we were leaving, she was actually eating her favorite food.
Yeah.
So her appetite hadn't gone away, at least not entirely. And then when we arrived at the shelter this morning, she had passed away. It's just been a devastating day. So thank you guys for joining us. We're talking about Valencia. If you joined late, if you have been listening to this story and wondering, hey, who's that cat? It was Valencia. She was orange tabby, just 7 years old, and had spent pretty much her entire life with us. And Chad's been receiving cuddles and treatment.
Yes.
From other shelter cats, from other lobby cats, cats that I really haven't seen Chad interacting with.
Me neither.
Have been coming up to Chad and kind of comforting. Thank you.
Yeah.
Consoling, comforting Chad. So it's kind of a sad day here at the shelter, and obviously we had it's $2 Tuesday, and our $2 Tuesday focus was on Valencia. It was on the vet visits that we had already had over the last week, and for the vet visits that we were planning on having, and the treatment that she was going to get.
Yeah, we were anticipating medical care for her, and whatever the vet said, we were ready to
do, because she was a bright cat. She was vibrant. She was happy. She was sweet.
She was so sweet.
And sometimes she would I'd come in, she'd be sitting on top of the tree if she hadn't gotten her favorite food yet. And her empty dish would be right there, and she would just be looking at you. And as you walked through the lobby, she would just kind of follow you. just looking. But she never reached out. She never like meowed or was a pest about it. It was just like, I'm here. Don't you love me?
I feel like she would always bother Brianna. Brianna became, she's our one of our managers. Brianna kind of became Valencia's food guardian. Like Valencia will find her and cry for her and beg her to feed her something, and she's like, you just ate. You want more? Okay, fine.
Right.
They're always talking to each other. It's really sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of the different shelter staff and volunteers over the years have made friends, obviously, with some of the cats, and she was a favorite of a number of them.
Yeah.
I feel like Little Gravies,
Oh, yeah.
right, really became known as a thing because of her. Because it's a wonderful, for those of you that don't know, that may have cats that have trouble eating or have lost their teeth, had their teeth pulled for whatever reason. Little Gravies is a great way of getting them the nutrients that they need.
There's also Little Soups, which is like basically all liquid.
Yeah.
It's another one. Little Shakes.
Little Shakes, yeah. Chad loved his Cheroos.
Yes.
Valencia as well, but not as much as Chad on that. But those just different methods of feeding and types of food really become something that as you work at the shelter or live this type of life, you really become familiar with in trying to find solutions to a cat's particular need.
Yeah.
And so, So it's been a very difficult day, and I told the director that the second video for the $2 Tuesday just really got me.
Yeah.
Obviously I was already upset about things, but that video just really hit me in the heart. And so we knew we couldn't do a typical $2 Tuesday live from the cattery after dark kind of broadcast tonight. Just not possible, and sorry about that. But the shelter staff and the volunteers and people who are here, and even those of you that come on a regular basis to the $2 Tuesdays, have gotten to know a lot of the cats. Sometimes I feel better than I might know the cats. Some of you guys are already asking, how's so-and-so, how's so-and-so? And Valencia was one of those that almost every time we came back into the shelter area or into the lobby at the end of our broadcast, you would see Valencia and you would see Chad. And so I know a number of you guys out there tonight watching had been asking, and over the months and months and years that we've had Valencia and we've been doing these broadcasts, you guys have asked, and so my heart reaches out to you guys as well, hoping that you can find some comfort in the fact that she was surrounded by her cat friends. She was cuddling with Chad. She was eating her favorite foods. Basically when she passed, she lived a really nice, protected, safe life. I think she had a lot of happiness with us. I think she was very comfortable.
I think so.
Living inside, even as a former feral cat.
She never tried to get out again.
She never did.
She was like, I'm not going out
there. That's right. I remember Chad did, by the way, did leave the shelter lobby one time.
That was the worst.
It was literally like 2 days, and it was the worst 2 days of my life, probably.
Honestly.
And we found him outside in underneath one of our buildings. He had not gone far, but he was scared, and he didn't know how to get back. Mm-hmm. And so we brought him back, and for like a week, I don't know if he ate, but he cuddled with Valencia.
Yeah. I hope she scolded him.
She probably did for scaring her that he was gone for so long.
When he was gone, she was really upset.
Yeah. So, it's just, cats like this that kind of come into your life, that kind of come into your heart, and they all come into our heart some way, shape, or form. But when you spend that much time and it's a cat that has that many different needs over the years,
yes,
they just become really special to you, and they become part of your life. Even when we have, a rotating cast of 200 cats, there are those that just kind of stand out, and Valencia was definitely one of them. So that's a little bit about Valencia. I'm not sure. We're sitting here. The phones aren't in our hand. I can't. My eyesight's bad. I'm old and I'm crying a little bit. So I can't read if there have been any questions.
There's been some questions about Chad.
Okay.
Chad, how is Chad holding up? He's doing okay. I don't know if that will change or not. Like we said earlier, a lot of the other cats are comforting him, and they seem to be, even like Laramie, he was grooming Laramie earlier. Sam sent me a video, and it was the cutest. Like, they don't do that. Like, it's hard to explain, because when we see them every day, to see a cat that they don't normally interact with, like, comforting them. Yesterday it was Templeton. Templeton and Chad have a bromance, sort of, but they don't cuddle. Like, they like each other, but they're not cuddly. Yesterday, Templeton and Chad were like this all day while Valencia was at the vet. It's so crazy working in a shelter and kind of getting to see these different personalities come out.
And tonight, as you're talking about Laramie, they were not just laying next to each other. They were wrapped around each other. Full hugs, belly to belly, legs wrapped around arms wrapped around each other, grooming really the head, grooming underneath the chin. It's not like that normally. So I think, it's a community of cats here. These guys are living indoors. They've known each other.
Kitty support group,
I really think that they probably knew yesterday that maybe it was very close to her time.
Right.
That's why Templeton was behaving the way that he was, potentially.
They know, Someone, Estella said they knew.
Yeah. And today, they know, obviously, she passed away here in the lobby with them, so they're very aware of that. And we feel like, we hope that it's helpful to Chad, particularly, to have had her come back last night from the vet and pass away here with him, so that he's not just looking at the door like the last time I saw her was she went out.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for her to come back.
Right.
So, sorry. It's that kind of a day. So I hope that you guys understand. Come back next week. We're going to be fun again. We're going to have a good time.
It's going to be Halloween next week.
Halloween, which is Katie's favorite day of the year.
I'm going to be wearing a costume. It's going to be a lot of fun.
She has been talking about Halloween since May. Our Halloween decoration, one of them right here.
In this country.
That went up in August, people. So, Halloween's a big deal. And it's going to be earlier next week, right?
Yes.
What time?
So we're going to be going live next week at 5:30 our time.
5:30 Central?
Yes. Right now it's almost 7:30 our time, so it'll be 2 hours earlier than now.
Yes.
Next week. That way, if you guys are trick-or-treating and stuff, hopefully it's just like the sweet spot for everybody to be able to go trick-or-treating. I've got kids, so I've got to take them trick-or-treating too. So, but we'll do some, I think we're planning on, I'm going to be in costume. He's going to be in costume. I don't know if he knows that yet.
I'm unaware, but okay. I do pink hair guys, so whatever. Right?
That's exactly what I want. It'll be a lot of fun.
We'll have a good time.
Yeah.
And we'll be giving each other candy. And so all night long we'll just
excited
pass
about
candy.
Apparently I'm taking Gabby trick-or-treating too. So.
Okay. There you go. Yeah. So Halloween's next Tuesday. We'll be doing early broadcast, 5:30 Central Time, to allow people with children to take their kids trick or treating, and maybe it works better for you guys in your life as well. So.
Thank you, Priscilla.
That'll be a one night only kind of deal, and then
we'll go back to normal.
We'll go back to normal time in November. So, So, any other questions coming in? Anything from the peanut gallery that we need to respond to or talk about?
Okay. Thank you guys so much for your sweet comments. You want this cat tree? Yeah, I love this cat tree. Isn't it amazing?
This cat tree, you guys cannot see it, but this is in the shape of a coffin.
It's a coffin cat tree.
And it's got a red liner and a black thing, and it's in literally the little shelf is in the shape of a coffin.
It's so cute.
And the cats love it, by the way.
Yeah, they do.
And they got bats hanging from the upside down. So
a lot of people saying you're allowed to be sad.
Thank you.
Apologize. We're all family.
Thank you. We're trying to hold it together. So hello.
Hi, Heather.
I did see Heather joined us. Hello, Heather. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight and sticking with us on this really different and down key kind of evening. So we really appreciate it. And for those of you that have donated in honor and memory of Valencia, thank you for those tributes. Thank you for your comments. Many of you have posted just some of the most incredible comments and very nice comments.
We've been crying all day.
We've been crying all day. People have sent us messages. And so it's really just been heartwarming to have the community that we have.
I'm so happy you got your stuff. How is Chad holding up? Chad is doing okay. We have a cat in the merchandise. If you hear that back there. Chad is doing okay. Thank you, Ray. Thank you so much, Krishna.
Yeah.
I appreciate everyone's comments. Yeah, we've seen a lot of comments today. I know personally, lots of really, really sweet comments. With donations, without donations, everything is appreciated. We appreciate everybody's amazing support. I think that's one of the main reasons I was looking forward to this live, was because we work so hard to build this community with you guys, and we love all of you. You're all amazing, and thank you so much for coming together as a community today and helping us with this, because it's been really hard.
Yes. Yes, thank you.
It's been a really hard day.
And I will go through later, as some of you know, I normally moderate on the Facebook side and make comments and things. We do have the director back there moderating and things. But I think I've seen some people posting about their own cats that may have passed or unexpectedly. And I think that's wonderful that you're here and letting us share with you, and you're sharing back with us similar comments and things like that. So I want to thank you guys for doing that. That honors us, I feel, and I'm touched that you guys would make those comments and share about yourself and your cats in your life that have been special to you. So I really appreciate that. So thank you for that. I'll go through all the comments later, and I'll make some. I'll respond to everybody and make comments back.
Yeah.
But if you're on here right now and you see other people commenting about their own cats and things like that, reach out and let them know that you recognize and that you see them, because they're sharing their pain.
Yeah.
And so that's important to all of us. It is hard, but it's a safe space, as they say these days. It's a safe space for all of us. So
definitely. Thank you to everybody who gave gifts during the live as well. That was appreciated. And I see you. I can barely see that far.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Let us know if there's anything that we can tell you about Valencia. I can tell you that one day we came in and we lost her. I couldn't find her anywhere. And she's one of the cats that I look for first because she's always out. I always know where she is. And I could not find her anywhere. And I went under chairs, and I went under couches, and I went under desks, and I went everywhere. And I could not find her anywhere. in the lobby, and I thought for sure that she had finally just decided that she didn't want to be indoors, and the door opened, and boom, she was gone. And I was outside looking for her and calling her, and I could not find her. I spent all morning looking for her.
Oh my gosh.
And eventually, out of nowhere, we're filming a video.
Oh no.
And she pops up out of a little container, a little wicker kind of woven container that's on a shelf. This little orange head pops up, looks around like, hey, what are you doing? What's going on?
She was so small. I don't know if you guys realize how small she was. She's just like this tiny little orange cat, just the cutest little thing.
Yeah.
It could fit anywhere.
Yeah, yeah. She never really got big or gained weight or anything like that.
Yeah. If I fits, I sits, exactly.
Yeah, and she fit everywhere.
She did.
Because, a 7-year-old cat, typically, that's been spayed and neutered and living a sweet indoor life and things like that. Lots of food around because we're feeding many, many cats in here and things like that. A lot of them get a little bit bigger and a little bit chonky.
Yes.
And she never did.
No.
Her medical issues really kind of limited her, but didn't limit her life. She would move around. She would run. She would jump and play.
Smuggle Chad.
She was a hunter.
Yes.
She used to chase flies. Mm-hmm. We don't have too many flies in here because we keep the place clean, but occasionally a fly will come in here, and Valencia would really take care of that for us.
Oh, yes.
So I don't know who's going to step up now and take care of the flies.
She was teaching Raptor. I think
Raptor, yeah. Yeah, Raptors.
He's keeping an eye on Laramie, too. I've seen him chasing them, too.
Mm.
But not as good as Valencia.
Yeah. So she was dedicated to it. Thank
you guys. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight, for all of your comments. I'll go through and read more of them.
Hi, Jess.
The cats over here really don't know what to make of two people sitting here facing a
chair.
Our high-tech a chair where we have propped up 2 of our cameras.
They keep coming over like, are you guys okay? Why are you crying?
They keep coming and you don't see it, but they keep coming and just looking at us and staring at us like, are you okay? Are you okay?
We did not get to have the wedding.
We did not get to have, but they were married. They were
common law marriage.
Common law marriage or what? I don't know what it was, but
I got her a veil. She had a veil, and I was working on getting it on her over time because she's, she used to be an outdoor feral cat, and putting a hat on this cat was going to be a thing. So over time, we were going to be slowly introducing this veil to her, and we never quite got it there, which ended up being fine because we kept postponing it anyway.
That's right. That's right.
So, maybe we'll put it on Chad.
Yeah. The veil on Chad?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. After I saw what Laramie and Chad were doing, maybe. But I want to take the cameras. I want to walk over for just a minute. Okay. As soon as my foot wakes up. Yeah. Sitting on my feet. I used to be able to do this for hours and hours as a small child and not have problems. But now that I'm old,
the Quaker marriage, Lynn said,
things tend to fall asleep on me.
Put it on Dapper Dan.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your nice words, Kate. I appreciate you being here with us.
There we go. Did you hear me grunting?
Nope, I was talking over you, don't worry.
See? It's falling asleep. We're going to walk over to a very special part of our lobby for just a minute. Hello, everybody. Talk about a close-up. I'm going to turn and give Katie the 2 phones. Okay. She can hold them both.
Hold on.
You got to face it towards me.
Yep. I'm going to flip the cameras.
Oh, that's...
All right.
All right, so come in close. Some of our special cats, make sure you get all of it.
Okay.
Some of our special cats, when they pass away, Abby was a cat, really, in 2021 she passed away. Really, really special, adopted from us at a very young age.
I miss Abby.
Came back to us, was found abandoned on the streets.
Yeah.
Was an older cat, but she only weighed 3 pounds.
She was tiny.
Just a tiny little slip of a thing. And so obviously we took her in and we got her healthy and we got feeding her and taking care of her. But she passed away. Reed Sharman was a 16-year-old calico. Lived in the lobby here, was not available for adoption. She came to us as an older senior cat, already with health problems, and we took care of her, and she, again, just kind of became a fan favorite here in the lobby, a fixture or whatever.
Yes, that's the angel sticker. That's
Over
right,
here.
Shelley. Abby.
So you can see kind of just nice along here. This is Dabney, and we
Dabney.
obviously have some more area.
I want to get a close up of that little paw print. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
That is so cute.
Dabney,
girl.
many of you may remember, Dabney was a favorite over in the FIV room.
She was. Little gray and white cat.
Dabney would sit on your lap. That's all Dabney wanted to do.
I had videos of her sitting on Addison.
We would go in and we would sit down or talk through the live broadcast. I would go in and I would sit down, and didn't matter where she was, what she was doing. She would come and sit on my lap and meatloaf.
Yeah.
And purr.
She was the sweetest.
And not want to get up. She would sit there for hours.
She was so great.
So Dabney, and then obviously we have a little bit more room. And so Valencia, I don't know where, but this will be the spot for Valencia.
Yes, it will.
And so just this too is part of working at the shelter and the work that we do. There's just those. We're almost at 10,000 adoptions.
Amazing.
We'll be at 10,000 adoptions before the end of the week, assuming all goes well, obviously. And you know, that's 10,000 joys, right? That's amazing joy and excitement and all the good things. But mixed in with that are some that just never left us.
Right.
And we couldn't let go. And so they continue to have a place with us here. And Valencia, I'm assuming, this is probably right here.
Yep. Next to Dabney.
Next to Dabney is probably Valencia's place.
Yeah.
So just wanted to share that with you. We can come back over and sit down for that.
Okay. Here you go. You should put a button at the bottom. You see it?
Yep. There you go. Do you hear the young person telling the old person, oh, there's a button on the bottom. If you push it, the camera will turn around.
I'm trying to help.
So, anyway. All right. I don't know what else to say. Thank you guys for giving us this time. And for all of your comments. I saw a few comments there about it's okay to cry or it's okay to be upset. And thank you for that, and for caring about us, caring about Valencia, for all the wonderful generosity that you guys have shown over the weeks and months and years to the Cattery Shelter, Cattery Cat Shelter, to us, the comments that you make about us, getting to know us. It is really a joy of our lives, I think. I don't want to speak for Katie, but it is for me.
It is for me too.
That we have this community, that you guys come week after week and share about yourselves and share with us and talk about us and want to know, you know, hey Katie, how's your kid doing, right? I mean, you know, how's the Cattery baby? How's this? How's that? It touches us deeply, and it touches us deeply tonight that you would want to sit here for almost 40 minutes now, hearing me ramble about a cat that I know and touched and pet and loved, but you guys have only seen the videos. There's something special there.
Yeah.
And so I want to say thank you to you guys.
Thank you.
For being a part of our lives, for being a part of our community, and for everything that you do to show us love, to support us, whether that's sharing videos or comments or donating if you're able to donate or anything like that that you've been able to do. I want to say thank you.
Did you see this?
No, I missed it.
You're gonna
I'm
cry.
probably sure I... Okay. So, yes. Francesca, thank you. We are so glad that Alexandra was a part of our community, an important part of our community for as long as she was, and it touches us. And we still think of her, of you, obviously, because you're continue to be a part of our community, but her as well. You have a place, we all have shelves in our heart, kind of like the shelf over there, and she's definitely on a shelf with us. And so I need to get rid of that comment.
It was beautiful, though.
But thank you for that. It's amazing, the community that we have. So thank you guys so much. Anything else? Remember, next week we are going to be early. I'm sure we'll post reminders through the week or throughout the weekend. 5:30 Central Time next week because it's Halloween and little ones need to be taken trick-or-treating. And so thank you very much for all the love and comments and devotion that you guys have for us personally and for our shelter and for our cats. Thank you very much. We love all of you. And I think I probably need to stop and end the broadcast right now. We're going to be a little bit early tonight. I'm sorry about that. But I think I might have held it together kind of about as long as I'm going to.
You did good.
So thank you all so much. And yes, Chad is going to get more love than he ever knew was possible. He will probably go back to being a feral cat, because he'll be tired of us hugging on him.
Leave me alone.
Leave me alone. Go away. Why did I ever let you touch me in the first place? But thank you. Our hearts go out to everybody, every one of you who is sharing in our grief tonight.
Thank you guys so much.
And thank you for everything that you guys have ever done for us. We love you all, and we will see you next week, next Tuesday, just early.
Halloween.
Right. Halloween night. All right. Thank you, guys.
Have a great night, everybody. Thank you so much.